Hello and welcome to another episode of the CUFI Weekly. Just 7 days ago, I was in Washington, D.C. for the CUFI Annual Summit, and what a summit it was. We heard from incredible speakers. We heard from CUFI founder and chairman, Pastor John Hagee. We heard from Jonathan Shanza. We heard from former Vice President Mike Pence, Nikki Haley, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and many, many more. On the last day of the summit, our members, there were over 1,000 this year who attended Summit, lobbied Capitol Hill. We introduced pieces of legislation to support the US-Israel relationship, to fight anti-Semitism, and our members will go speak to their congressmen or women to discuss our legislative agenda and ask them to support it. Ultimately, remember that our leaders work for us. They work for our nation, and we have the power to lobby them directly. And this year, one of the key pieces of legislation that CUFI was involved in was the CHAI Act. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the BDS movement, the movement to boycott, divest, and sanction Israel. Shocking that of all the countries in the world, with what Iran is doing on a daily basis, Iran who killed an innocent girl because she wasn't wearing a headscarf in accordance with its religious police's insane guidelines. BDS isn't asking that we boycott Iran. With what's happening in North Korea, we're not being told to boycott or sanction North Korea. But it's Israel, our friend, our ally, a democracy in the Middle East. That is the country that is being singled out for boycotts, divestment, and sanction by the BDS movement. And the BDS movement aren't even hiding it. They're very open about what their agenda is. It is about the destruction of the Jewish state. You can look at some of the quotes from BDS leaders and they make no secret of what their true agenda is. So the CHAI Act is CUFI's attempt to make sure this doesn't happen. And let me tell you a little bit about this legislation. So it was rolled out to coincide with the CUFI Summit by our good friend, Representative Claudia Tenney, and we're very grateful for her efforts in spearheading this bill. But since Summit, it has picked up more sponsors, so it is really gaining steam. What the CHAI Act will do, it will require US government contractors to certify that they are not engaged in a boycott of Israel. And for the duration of their contract with the US government, that they will not engage in boycotts of the Jewish state. Why? It's really quite simple. Why should taxpayer money, taxpayer dollars that you and I pay go to bigots? When businesses are getting federal funds, they are signing contracts with the federal government. I do not want those companies to be engaged in a discriminatory boycott of the world's only Jewish state. It shouldn't happen. Why should that money go to those companies? And this ensures that that won't happen. It's as simple as that. And that is why the CHAI Act is so important. We have a voice in this nation. We have the ability to change legislation and ensure that we keep the US-Israel relationship strong. And the CHAI Act is doing exactly that. For all those people who were there at Summit, who lobbied their congressmen and women, thank you. You are making a difference and you are changing history for the better. And for those who are watching this now, get involved with CUFI at CUFI.org and ensure that your congressman or woman is supporting this vital piece of legislation. Until next week, this is Kasim Hafiz for Christians United for Israel. For Zion's sake, do not remain silent.
Thanks for checking out this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe so you get a notification every time a new episode hits. And if you want to check out some of our previous episodes, and we've got some really good ones, click on one of the thumbnails and that will take you right there. And finally, if you want to know more about CUFI and the work we do, go to CUFI.org to check out all the resources we have available free to you.